That smell. Home, Ruth says as the door creaks closed behind them. Taking in the room, now full of blanket-covered furniture and dust-covered shelves, she turns to a picture next to the door. It was a picture of the lighthouse they had just stepped into. A short, white, round building with only 2 floors and, to be expected, a large prominent light on top that, in its time, would have lit up the rocky shoreline the building presided over. Forgotten what it feels like to come back here. Like nothing can touch me. Mind if I take a look around? The doctor asks, caution and worry in her voice. Sure, Ruth says flatly, the sense of mistrust clear in her voice as well. I'll get a fire going. Ruth slowly walks toward the living room off to the right, keeping an eye on the doctor as she turns around and begins up the spiral staircase at the back of the house. The doctor steps up into the large glass dome, the light covered in cloth like everything else abandoned and forgotten in this place. She steps out of a door onto the small balcony on the rim of the light's dome. Staring out, all she sees is the same winding green hills that they drove through to get here, and the shoreline beyond it now mostly mud from the low tide. It doesn't take her long, though, to spot something among the green. A dark plot of dirt with a small gravestone near it. Ruth did mention that her parents had requested to be buried on the property. Finally having something to go on. Not much, but something. The doctor rushes back down the stairs and out the front door, barely noticing Ruth stoking the fire in the living room. Running up to the grave, she immediately sees the stone is blank. A single gravestone for 2 parents with nothing to memorialize them. The dirt itself seems freshly turned, with a bulge as if something is coming up from underneath. She grabs a shovel that she saw set against the side of the house and begins digging. It isn't long before she hits something hard. She kneels down and begins pulling dirt away by the handful, uncovering a brilliant blue color among this dark soil. Clearing away more, she discovers a black sign embedded into the blue wood, with lit-up letters spelling out, Police Public Call Box. Figure anything out? The doctor stands up and turns to see Ruth, now dressed in a dark blue suit with an undershirt of bright oranges and reds and carrying a large silver rifle glowing yellow that is clearly not from Earth. I did. I broke the glass. This, the doctor turns and points at the blue box buried in the dirt and demands, What is this? That's my ship, Ruth replies in a matter-of-fact tone. What? Let me take it from the top, Ruth smiles. Hello. I'm the doctor. I'm a traveler in space and time. And that thing down there is a TARDIS, Ruth explains as she walks around the doctor and up to the hole. Time and relative dimension in space. Wiping away some more of the dirt off the corner of the blue box, she says under her breath, Sorry, old girl. Now where did you get this form from? I told you to keep the circuit off. Turning back to the doctor, she explains, Chameleon circuit's been on the fritz for ages. Buried her to try and help her stay hidden. I don't understand, the doctor says, more to herself than Ruth. Ruth goes over to the doctor and grabs her hand. Smiling, she says, Come on, you're gonna love this. Ruth kicks away a bit more dirt until the top of a pair of blue wooden doors is showing. She stomps down on them and they fly open. In a rush, they both fall with the rest of the mound of dirt into the doors. As they passed through, the doctor felt a tumbling sensation as their center of gravity shifted to match the new dimensions of the interior of the TARDIS. Dirt scattered on the floor, and when looking back toward the door, the sky was still in front of them, like she was laying down looking up at the sky while standing on 2 feet. Ruth was already at the controls flipping switches and grumbling at her old girl to wake up. It was a sudden rumbling that broke her out of her thoughts. What's happening? Asked the doctor. Ruth answers with a simple, She's here.